ever done something wrong but feel justified, even if no one else knew? Maybe a small lie, a flash of anger, or taking something that wasn't yours. They might seem minor, but deep down we know our actions shape our lives and minds. Welcome back to Unveiling Buddhism episode 53. Today we are exploring right action, not as a rule book, but from stories of grayness between right and wrong. The Buddha taught, right action is abstaining from taking life, stealing, and sexual misconduct. Simple words, but life makes it complicated. Our first guest today is Brother Joey. He was once a rising boy band star, but when his past as a school bully was revealed, everything crashed. What followed wasn't a PR fix, it was a turning point in life. Joey chose to face the truth and through that found the Dharma.
Hi everyone, I want to start by saying sorry to the people I hurt in the past, especially my schoolmates, to my fans who felt betrayed, and to anyone who ever looked up to me. I'm not here to defend myself, just to share the truth. And maybe, just maybe, to find a way forward together. The truth is, I was a bully. And bullying doesn't start with fists, but with craving, anger, and ego. When I was in my teens, I used to trap spiders and crickets. I made them fight each other for fun. To me, it was exciting. I felt clever, like I had power over something. It never occurred to me that I was indirectly killing and harming innocent creatures for pleasures. That was cruelty. Even my parents thought it was just a harmless hobby. When I brought it to school, other guys loved it too. Suddenly I was cool, the leader of this underground insect fight club. And I craved that feeling, the recognition, the respect. It wasn't just about the bugs anymore, it was about popularity. We even started mini tournaments, wagered pocket money and toys. And I loved being at the center of it all, being the leader, the referee, the star. Then one day, another guy started his own tournament. Didn't ask. He didn't follow the rules, and I felt threatened. Like he was stealing my spotlight. My ill will felt justified, and that's when things crossed a line. I gathered a few of my friends. We stormed his setup, smashed everything, punched him and threatened him to stop, and he did. You know what? Back then, I felt powerful, like see. That's how you deal with betrayal. But that moment, that feeling poisoned me. It showed me that violence could get me what I wanted. From then on, our group got worse. We bullied classmates, and it became routine. Someone annoyed us, even just a little. We'd find a way to humiliate or hurt them. And I told myself that they deserved it. But deep down, I knew I was feeding something dark, something I didn't want to face. Looking back, every action was driven by something inside me, craving for attention. Ill will toward those who challenged me and a blind belief that bullying and hurting others made me stronger. The Dharma helped me see that clearly now. It's not just about whether something is legal or acceptable. It's about the intention behind our actions. Mine were full of poison, greed, anger, and ignorance. We can't undo our past, but we can stop using it as an excuse. And that's how change begins. With truth, with humility, with action that no longer harms. Thank you for letting me share my story.
Thank you, Brother Joey. His story is a powerful reminder that the roots of harm often start quietly within us. As little craving, resentment, or even the need to control a situation in life. Right action means to avoid harming others, including the little insects. This is because even little misdeeds can take roots and grow in our minds. Up next, let us examine stealing. When we think of stealing, we often picture money or valuables. But theft can take many forms. Trust, opportunities, even someone's peace of mind. In this next segment, Shanti shares a story of ambition, envy, and the heavy cost of taking what isn't ours.
Hi, my name is Shanti. I used to work in corporate sales and I was determined to be the best. Ambitious, competitive, always chasing the next win. My closest friend at work was Hui Ming. We shared everything, strategies, lunch breaks, even late night rants. But deep down, I wanted to beat her. And one day, I crossed the line. She had stepped away from her desk. Her client list was open, and I stole it. I copied everything. The leads she had worked hard to build but had yet to close, and used them for myself. I became a thief. And I justified it by telling myself it was just fair competition. Since she felt to sell to them, why can't I give it a try? When Hui Ming asked me how I got those clients, I lied. Said it was pure coincidence. But it didn't stop there. I was jealous of how much people liked her. I wanted more than her client list. I wanted her reputation ruined. So I wrote fake complaint letters, made it look like customers were unhappy with her service. Ill will had taken over me, and I fed it. I wasn't caught. No one knew. But when promotion time came, it was Hui Ming who got the offer, not me. I was furious. Blinded by anger, I thought the company was biased. I quit, but not before taking revenge, sending confidential data to competitors. Another theft, another lie, another self-justified action. Although no one found out, I didn't win anything. Since then, I haven't been able to keep a job, and people seem to distrust me instinctively even if they don't know why. I've lost friendships, opportunities, even the sense of who I am. I used to think that I got away with everything. But maybe the real punishment isn't about being caught. Maybe it's about becoming the kind of person who steals trust, loyalty, and respect, without even realizing what I've lost in return. Now, I'm trying to repent and change, to stop taking what isn't mine, whether it's credit, trust, or someone's dignity. Because every act of stealing, big or small, chips away at who we are. When we steal from others, we also become wary of others stealing from us. In that manner, we unintentionally extinguish the light in our own life. And no success is ever worth that. Through Dharma, I've come to see, real wealth is a peaceful mind. And no amount of stolen success can buy that.
Shanti didn't steal money. She stole data, opportunities, and trust. Her ambition, once admirable, was clouded by craving and ill will. Right action means more than following rules. It means acting from the right place inside. When intent is rooted in harm, even smart moves lead to suffering. But when guided by honesty and compassion, our actions create peace for ourselves and others. Our next story is shared with permission, but to protect her privacy, we'll call her Sarah. Sarah thought she had a good life, a stable marriage, a future she could count on. Then one day, everything cracked. She found out her husband had been cheating. The shock was like a silent explosion. Her world didn't just break, she did. At first, she blamed herself. Was I not enough? Not beautiful enough? Not lovable enough? That quiet self-doubt began to eat away at her confidence. A friend, trying to help, brought her to a spiritual healer, someone said to have powerful rituals that could fix broken love. At first, it felt soothing. He performed ceremonies, lit incense, chanted blessings. He promised her husband would come back, changed, loving, loyal. But weeks passed, nothing changed. Then a new suggestion, a special ritual bath to cleanse her karma, still no change. Then came another ritual, one he claimed was sacred, secret, and powerful. This one involved sex. He told her it was ancient, a spiritual transmission from the Buddha. Sarah was educated. She knew this didn't sound right, but she was tired, angry, humiliated. A thought crept in. Why am I the only one suffering? Why do men get to be betrayed and still walk away respected? In that storm of pain, she made a decision. If he can cheat, so can I. If he can hurt me, I can hurt him back. So she agreed. Not out of belief, not out of healing, but out of revenge. A craving to feel wanted, a desperate attempt to reclaim control. But what followed wasn't power. It was lonely emptiness, guilt, disgust. Her husband never changed, and Sarah felt even more broken than before. Later, she told us even if her husband had come back, it wouldn't have mattered. She couldn't forgive him, and even worse, she couldn't forgive herself. But one day she encountered dharma, and slowly the fog lifted. She saw how everything, the betrayal, the rituals, the revenge, was driven by craving, by anger, by confusion. She left the marriage, but she stayed with the dharma. Today, Sarah lives a quieter life, not trying to win, not trying to punish, just learning to understand. To be kind to herself and others, to live without causing harm. We thank Sister Sarah for her courage in sharing her story, because it reminds us sexual misconduct isn't always about lust. Sometimes it's about pain, power, control, and when that harm is wrapped in spiritual language, the betrayal cuts even deeper. Let's be clear. The Buddha clearly taught that right action involves chastity. Real teachers don't ask for your body in exchange for blessings. They don't blur the line between guidance and exploitation. If someone promises a reward in exchange for intimacy, walk away. That is sexual exploitation, and you have every right to reject. So what can we take away from their stories? Right action may sound simple when framed as a list of rules, but real life is rarely that clear-cut. In the messy gray areas of life, what truly matters is our inner awareness. The moment we recognize craving, anger, or the intent to harm stirring within us, we've already begun to veer off course, no matter how we try to justify our behavior.
Sometimes we mean well and try to do the right thing, but the outcome is not what we hoped for. So how can we really know if our actions are right?
Hey, that's a great question. But notice you are judging the action based on its outcome, or rather, the expected outcome. The truth is, many results in life are beyond our control. What is in our control is our intention and the ethics behind our actions. Doing what's right starts with refraining from what's clearly harmful, like killing, stealing, or sexual misconduct. Then we go deeper. We check if our actions are rooted in craving, ill will, or harmful intent. If we act with awareness and integrity, free from greed, hatred, and delusion, then even if things don't go as planned or our conscience and karma remain clear, may we walk our life with honesty, humility, and compassion. See you in our next episode as we continue our journey in the Dharma.